Yo, what's happening, boxing fans? It is Dr. Bring It. So hey, I'm cutting a lot of boxing videos here. I know that a lot of boxing has been postponed because of the pandemic that's going on right now. So I'm gonna take advantage of this time that we have while me and my family are isolated in New Jersey. So we're here in the jungles here of New Jersey talking about boxing and just being smart, being responsible to society. And that's how we're helping the healthcare system right now, by flattening the curve. I'm sure you guys heard that term and that hashtag so many times at this point. But what's crazy is that as much as we're talking about it, and much as we see on TV, people still go out. People still partying it up, having the time of their life at this point. Do they not realize that they are not helping the healthcare workers, while the healthcare workers are right now just trying to stay afloat, trying to help these people who are coming in with this nasty virus? Do your part, people. But in the meantime, let's talk about boxing. What are we going to talk about today? There's been talks, I hear, that Errol Spence Jr. is now saying that this year or early next year, that there will be a fight between him and Terence Crawford. How do you think this fight is going to play out, if they actually do fight? Well, let's talk about it real quick. I don't have the tail of the tape for you guys. I apologize. But let's talk about these two awesome fighters. Now, obviously, Errol Spence Jr. has proven himself, right? Kell Brook. We just saw him handle Porter. Went into a war. We saw that he could fight on the inside and bang with the best of them, okay? So he's been tested. He's definitely been tested. Everyone knows that, everyone calls him a bully at this point, because he could easily fight middleweight, but he's coming down to fight with smaller guys. I know there's a lot of haters out there, but I personally look at it, he's a legitimate fighter. Southpaw fighter. He's slick. You know what? Slick is kind of like a misused term, to be quite honest with you. Maybe he's not as slick. I don't think he's as slick as Terence Crawford. But a lot of people think that that Errol Spence Jr. has been tested more than Crawford. Maybe so, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about their power. Who do you think has more power? Punch for punch. Do you think Errol Spence Jr. or do you think Terence Crawford has more power? Punch for punch, I'm going to probably give the power to Errol Spence Jr. Naturally bigger guy. Really, I mean, he's a southpaw, okay, and he's pretty flat-footed, I would say. He's not really a bouncy fighter. He's not kind of one of these fighters that go to side and moving a lot. No, he's just kind of like right there, right in front of you. He goes back and forth. That's it. So when he throws his punches, he's really just like settled. He's really connected to the ground. That's the thing. Terence Crawford, he's more of a, and here's the thing. Terence Crawford, he's an orthodox boxer, but when he starts his fights, he starts in southpaw. Why he does this? I don't know. Maybe to just mess with his opponents, because he knows he's got tremendous boxing IQ. So he goes out there, let's see what you can do in my southpaw stance. Goes in and out. He's very light on the feet. He knows how to move backwards, moves forward, he moves to the sides, everything. So power-wise, I'm gonna have to give it to Errol Spence Jr. just for that reason. But I'm not saying that Terence Crawford doesn't have any power, because we've seen him knock out even Kavaliauskas in that last fight, which I thought was an awesome display of power and boxing IQ. Anyway, speed-wise, who do you have being faster? Who has more speed? I'm going to have to chalk this one up to Terence Crawford. I think his speed is tremendous. And the fact that he's moving around a lot with his feet, going in and out, circling, cutting the ring off and everything like that, and being able to come in, close the distance, I think he is faster than Errol Spence. Again, Errol Spence Jr., if they fight, I think Errol Spence Jr. is going to have to do a lot of cutting off the ring. But he's going to be chasing Terence Crawford pretty much the whole night, depending on how long it lasts. Stamina-wise, man, these two can go to the full distance of the fights. I mean, we saw this against, with Errol Spence, we saw him fight Kell Brook, right? They went all the way to the end. And it looked like Errol Spence Jr. was kind of gassed a little bit, but then he took it up a notch, and he was still able to overcome Kell Brook. He's just tremendously fit, but so is Crawford. So I don't think there's a question about conditioning, because both fighters are very conditioned, and they could last a long time. However, here's the thing. Mentally, the mental stamina, I'm going to have to give it to Crawford. Why is that? A lot of times, and I've watched a lot of boxing fights, when fighters get tired, what happens is, and again, maybe this is my own term, maybe this is a Dr. Bring It term, but they go into zombie mode. They just go in. And you guys saw this against Errol Spence when he fought Sean Porter. They just met in there, the middle, and they just went, and they were just going through the motions. There was not much like strategy anymore. They just went in, and they were just, blow for blow, blow for blow. And I don't like that. That just shows me that when people get tired, when the fighters get tired, they just go into this like automatic zombie mode where they just go in. It's just all feel, no more strategy. They just throw it out the window. That's how I saw the fight against Errol Spence Jr. and Sean Porter. If he does this zombie mode against Crawford, who is always thinking, he's always present. He doesn't go into this zombie mode. He's always still thinking, always looking for the openings. He's going to get knocked out. Now, do I think that Crawford has the ability to knock out Errol Spence Jr.? Yeah. If he punishes him enough, do I think it's going to happen? It's not likely that Crawford is going to knock out Errol Spence Jr. But then again, I didn't think that Crawford was going to knock out Kavaliauskas either. But Kavaliauskas, despite how strong he was, didn't have the stamina. And when fighters run out of gas, they're very, very vulnerable to getting knocked out. So given that Errol Spence Jr. has been tested, again, I keep saying Kell Brook, Sean Porter, going the full distance, I'm not sure if Crawford will be able to knock out Errol Spence Jr. I think you guys already kind of know, based on what I'm saying, where I'm already leaning, but let's keep talking about it. Defense-wise, who do I think has better defense between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford? I'm going to have to say, wow, this is a pretty tough one. Defensive-wise, I'm going to have to probably give it to Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr., he has this peekaboo style. He doesn't really like to move out of the way much, though. He likes to just cover up. He's got long arms, right? So he's a wide fighter, okay? Let me do this the right way. He's a southpaw, right? He's a wide fighter. But when he comes in, when opponents come in, he just like covers up pretty much. He doesn't like to really move much. Again, he's flat-footed. Defensive-wise, it's maybe tough to connect, right? However, someone like Crawford who knows how to throw like 4, 5, 6, 7 punch combinations is going to give Errol Spence Jr. a really tough time. Errol Spence Jr. has to actually move out of the way, because if he just does the peekaboo and cover up, Terence Crawford is going to eat him up. He's going to throw 5, I've seen 7 punch combinations come out of Terence Crawford. And he's going to connect. If Errol Spence Jr. just sits there, he's going to be a sitting duck. Trust me on that. You will not be able to get away from Terence Crawford's, 5 to 7 punch combinations. You can't. He won't be able to do that. But defensively, Errol Spence Jr., I would say, gets hit less than Terence Crawford. But Terence Crawford moves more. So I think he'll be able to elude and just stay away from Errol Spence Jr.'s, 1-2 punch, or maybe like his 1-2-3 combination, because that's honestly all I think he has. He's great at it, but I don't think his arsenal is as stacked as Terence Crawford. But let's talk about that. Footwork-wise, I think this is a no-brainer. Footwork-wise, I think Terence Crawford has better footwork than Errol Spence Jr., just simply because he moves a lot more. He moves a lot more effectively. He's more dynamic, closing in the distance, moving back, side to side. That's always impressed me about Terence Crawford. So footwork-wise, Terence Crawford, hands down. Mental toughness. Who has the mental toughness? Man, both of these fighters, they're mentally tough. Bud Crawford, Terence Crawford, Omaha, Nebraska, right? He's had some challenges in his life as well. But same thing with Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr., he's been tested. Mentally tough. He just got through a car accident last year. Now, whenever they meet, this extended absence in the sport, I think might be very, very hurtful. It's going to hurt Errol Spence Jr. Definitely. This long sabbatical, whatever you want to call it, this is going to hurt Errol Spence Jr. He hasn't been in the ring, and I think that's going to mentally affect him. But let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Creativity and skill. I think, again, this is a no-brainer. I'm going to have to give the creativity and skill to Terence Crawford. I think he's just the more skilled boxer overall. He can fight orthodox. He could also fight southpaw. Imagine this. Terence Crawford comes out. He's going to come out as a southpaw against another southpaw. And what if he outboxes Errol Spence Jr. in southpaw? That's his own stance. What if he does that? To be quite honest with you, if he floats around, hitting Errol Spence at will with jabs, connects, get some good combinations, I honestly think mentally, it's not going to be a fight like Kell Brook. It's not going to be a fight like Sean Porter. This is like, I think Bud Crawford can stay on the outside and just like out-touch him. Boom, 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 boom. And he's going to be able to light him up with like on the outside and go in, close it down. I think honestly, I think we're probably going to see an outclass from Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is going to show his skill. He's going to show his creativity, his mental fortitude, and I think it'll be a landslide of a fight, to be quite honest with you. I don't see Errol Spence Jr. Outboxing Crawford. And I don't see him knocking out Bud Crawford either. I don't see it happening. I think Bud Crawford is, you like how I said Terence and then now I'm saying Bud Crawford. But I don't honestly see either of them knocking each other out. I think the two of them are skilled enough to be able to last 12 rounds, but skill-wise, I think we're gonna see Bud Crawford, Terence Crawford, outshine and outbox Errol Spence Jr. What do you guys think about this? Let me know. This is a really, really interesting fight, and I really would love to see this happen. And then, of course, the winner of this fight will continue on and fight Manny, the Pac-Man, the Senator, Pacquiao. And if Pacquiao loses, it doesn't even matter. Pacquiao has done so much already for the sport. He's done so much for himself. He's got nothing to prove at this point. But he is getting older by the second. So if this fight between Spence Jr. and Crawford happened first, oh man, we're probably gonna see Manny Pacquiao fighting like next year. He's already gonna be like 42, 43 years old. He's gonna be like gray hair. He's gonna have, you know, a walker, dude. And then that's it. But how crazy would that be? Manny Pacquiao taking on the winner of these two and then potentially beating him? What? That would be crazy. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Chime in. Subscribe if you want to subscribe. But again, more importantly, stay healthy out there. Do your part. Be responsible. Be smart about things. Stay home. And that's how you could help our precious and most important healthcare heroes. All right? Talk to you soon.